going on, Clippers fans? Welcome to a happy hour hang on Clips and Dip here at youtube.com/@ClippersPodcast. If you're listening to this after the live show, you can always find us on YouTube if you want to hang out when these things happen. We are talking. I'm Chuck Mockler, joined by Adam Oslin and Joseph Rye Ward, the triumvirate. No idea where Will is. Could be another zip code. No idea.
Oh, fuck him.
It's a new day. Damn.
Wait, this is live?
Yeah. That's so funny.
Okay, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
You remember that Simpsons moment with the reporter? You know how I know this is live? Penis. See, they didn't bleep it.
All right. The Clippers have finally signed Bradley Beal. It felt like a foregone conclusion for the most part. They get him for 2 years for $11 million, a paltry $5.5 million each year. Incredible value. There's some fit things that we're going to talk about, but where do we want to start, Joseph? Do we want to give the front office a little shout out because they've had a fantastic offseason?
They really have. I would say that shrewd decision making is back, and I do not. It's not lost on me that it came back immediately when Paul George left. It's not lost on me that started happening when that guy was out of the building.
I like that idea. There's less, how can we put this diplomatically? There's fewer.
Just say what I did about Will.
Yeah. There's just fewer people giving input.
Yeah, agreed.
Less cooks in the kitchen.
Less cooks in the kitchen. Wow, they let.
There's one head chef that is cooking though, and L. Frank.
There we go. For just full recap, out this offseason: Norm, Drew Eubanks, Patty Mills, Ben Simmons. Obviously, the Australian trio will be missed, and then Amir Coffey in. Bradley Beal, John Collins, Brooke Lopez. No first-round picks gone. Nothing. It's gonna sucks to have 20 points in Norm go away, but this is now a better roster than they started last season with. Haggle, no haggle.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But
Joseph,
there are a lot
more.
The
dog. Sorry, Adam.
No, yeah,
it's okay. This is Jerry. It is Jerry's 9th birthday today.
Wow, happy birthday, Jerry. This is what you miss if you're not watching. An adorable dog. Adam?
He is a vicious attack dog. Don't get it twisted.
Adam,
dog's old enough to be a Clipper. Yeah. Talent-wise, on paper, they're obviously better. I do think there's a lot of fit questions, a lot of defined role questions, and also there's still more questions when it comes to injury concerns. Like Bradley Beal has been slotted in for 50 games both of the last 2 seasons. That is concerning. Of course, the value is there for only paying $5 million for him. Jason McIntyre immediately, the guy who was saying, if the Lakers get Bradley Beal, you can just start the parade. And then he saw him go for just $5 million. Why didn't the Lakers get him? They don't have $5 million, dumbass. They already spent their mid-level exception. That's how it works. Sorry.
You're fired up.
Just did not. Yeah, you know what? I am fired up. It's a big day. Joseph's dog is here. I want to show off.
It's his birthday. They signed him for his birthday. Jerry was very happy with the gift.
The one day he gets to retire a Clipper. That's good.
Jealousy.
Bro, this is the most animals we've had on the.
Where's your llama,
put your
Chuck?
dog up on the screen. And I'll put my cat up, and we'll see if they fight.
Yeah, let me get my sheep on cam.
Who's that?
Justin Rousseau, our favorite French-Canadian reporter, put out a great article on his Substack that I'm actually going to put in the chat right now that everyone should read. It's long. Disclaimer. It is very good. Read it.
Justin, in depth? No.
It's phenomenal.
The Ringer, sign him. This man killed it on this. This is one of his best. This is one of his masterpieces.
And the John Collins one, which came out just the other week, is also great. We're going to have him on next week to talk about it too, which should be fun. But I loved this. This is just a fun fact, I guess, for the Bradley Beal trade. Justin writes, you seriously have to go back to when Beal started out in the NBA for the last time a team of his ranked in the top 10 on defense And at no point in Beal's 13-year career has he ever been on a team that was both top 10 in defense and top 10 in net rating. In fact, he's been on a top 10 net rating team just twice in his career. One of them was his first year in Phoenix. Just to illustrate that the move that Beal is making by signing in Los Angeles as a free agent. The Clippers were third in defensive rating last season and fifth in net rating. They quite literally represent the best team he'll have joined or been on going into a season. The 2023 Phoenix Suns were 7th and 9th, respectively, when he joined in 2023. Obviously, it's not a one-for-one, but the Clippers did lose their 20-point scorer, replaced him with Beal, and we have now John Collins. So I'm feeling cautiously pretty damn hyped. The West is a nightmare. We can't pretend that. And there are some fit issues that we can talk about because he is expected to start. That's what everyone's saying. But I feel cautiously pretty damn hyped.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any reason not to at least be excited to watch the Clippers next season at this very moment. I'm going to vigorously knock on wood because, I mean, it's the Clippers. Who knows what's going to happen after saying this. But to take a 50-win team, that was for sure a surprise 50-win team, and get better, only losing really a second-round pick in terms of like future assets, is just really good business. I mean, the Brook Lopez signing, I can't talk enough about how awesome that is as a Clipper fan who over the last, 3 years since Isaiah has been gone has wanted them to have, literally anybody who could back up Sue. Right. But then also bringing in a guy like Beal. Yeah.
I talked to Brook Lopez today on the phone and told him how everybody is. Yeah. I was trying to sell him on season tickets. No, he was on AM 570 earlier, and I told him how excited everybody is for him, and he is legitimately super pumped to be a Clipper. Like, he is really excited himself, as excited as everybody else is. They got a real backup center. They got a guy who can scale up and start. Like, he is so ready for this.
Yeah.
He's a California kid too. It fits.
Yes. North Hollywood, stand up.
Finally, some representation for Noah in the NBA. I like this question because I think this question kind of goes into what we're going to talk about from Goofy Owl 117. They think the team is exciting, but the identity being different makes them anxious. I think that's just because the defense was so good last year.
Yeah.
And the offense was fine. We're talking regular season. The offense was fine to quite literally league average. And now there is a chance to be top 10 in both. I don't think that's crazy. Slim slippage on defense. So obviously we can assume right now boost on offense.
Yeah. Which I do subscribe to the Will Updike theory of the way to win a basketball game is to score more points than your opponent. So I will say that having a better offense is welcomed for me. But I do think that we are probably going to see the starting lineup have both Beal and Collins in it, barring something unforeseen. And there is going to be an adjustment period to how the team plays. And there's going to be an adjustment for fans to watching how the team plays, because it is going to be way more offense focused, especially with that starting five. But I do think that the team still has enough quality defenders in general. Yeah. To kind of get around that and sort of supplement those stars or those offensive engines that we're going to have with guys who can defend. So maybe you do start with those two guys in the lineup, but they probably quickly get cycled out for guys like Chris Dunn and Derrick Jones Jr. And now you don't have a pretty steep decline when Zoo sits in terms of interior defense.
I did bring this up on one of our last shows that I have real concerns about them both starting, because there goes the idea of Kawhi Leonard having to do less on the defensive end.
Very good point.
Immediately.
Yep.
And the point of getting John Collins was to take less off his plate. But if you're also starting Bradley Beal, you have two good defenders out there, Ivica Zubac and Kawhi Leonard. Now, Bradley Beal has been their best point of attack defender at times in Phoenix. Notably, if you look at that series against Minnesota a couple years ago in the first round, like he was the one that was picking up Anthony Edwards a lot. I don't know if that's like he's a better defender than Norm, but there isn't a significant gap between those two. And he may give a better effort, especially at first. A new guy comes in, wants to show that he's bought into what the Clippers are doing. We already heard Lawrence Frank speak on John Collins about his defensive issues and say, like, we think he can rise and meet the level that we're at here. The same thing's going to have to happen with Bradley Beal. And it's three guys that can be hunted in the starting lineup. And I just don't love the idea of losing a crystallized identity that they had last season for really the first time in the 2-1-3 era, where it felt like they weren't just relying on overwhelming talent and they're really good in different areas. They had a way they knew they were going to play each and every night and a way they had to play to have success out there. And look, if their offense is top 10, and it should be, that's great. But I don't want to see them fall out of the top 10 defensively.
I think it would, yeah. Because we also,
I'm not saying that's some guarantee, like that's going to happen. They were top 5 this past year. So it's a really high bar. And I think how you set the tone, remember last year, they actually started off first quarters better for the first time in a while. I don't think that was a coincidence. It's because they had better point of attack defenders and they have guys who were tone setters like Chris Dunn.
I like this question from Noah Bullock on here, which a lot of people have asked one way or another, where it's like, is the change of scenery going to get them to play better defense or at least to buy in more? I don't think at this point Bradley Beal is hitting some gear of defensive capability where it's like, oh, he's just trying more now and he's a lot better at it. I think the buy-in could be real. I think getting them to be a little more dedicated to trying to make things happen on that end could have a positive effect just mentally. You know what I mean? Like Van Gundy being here makes me feel better about it.
Yeah.
I think.
I can't remember who was talking about this, but they were saying that sort of the big reason that the team played better defensively with Jeff Gundy at the helm is he simplifies things. And so it's not an overly complicated like scheme, or like the directions are very clear, kind of like the bumbling Nick Sirianni press conference. I don't know if you guys remember when he got hired, he was like, you got to simplify the system so that people know what to do. And like, if you know what to do, then you can go and do it. And I also think having John Collins play next to Kawhi in that starting lineup, for sure, John Collins isn't like a great perimeter defender, but his backline defense has improved and he's been able to kind of like
and he's funneling his guys to do.
Right. But also too, if like a guard gets beat on the perimeter, John Collins is someone who can clean that up on the back line. And so I
like
also
an alley-oop or something like that, maybe.
Yeah. I like the idea of also being just generally bigger, like starting bigger, having a guy who's actually like 6'9" next to Kawhi, who's a really long 6'7", and Brad is the smallest guy on the floor at 6'4". So, you have some length, you have, some ability to kind of shrink the floor that way. And again, I don't really expect that lineup to necessarily play maybe the most minutes together after, like the first quarter.
It is all on Ty now. Now we get we get tinkering Ty with a good roster, a healthy Kawhi. Speaking of knocking on wood, I'm feeling pretty good. That they will get it figured out. We will be upset at times.
Yes.
My issue, aside from the defense to start games, is also just they're going to have some injury luck to build continuity based upon how many games a lot of these guys have been playing the last few years. Like they're going to have to get some level of injury luck with Kawhi. Last season with James Harden could be considered lucky with
79 games
he played.
And how well he played.
Yeah. With Bradley Beal in there, I mean, now at least they have a backup center if Ivica Zubac gets banged up at some point and things aren't going to completely fall apart. But I just hope they get enough minutes to build up that familiarity with the main group that you're counting on to be the squad that can raise the ceiling for this team and really scare people in the playoffs. Like, they need time.
Yeah, there's 2 new guys on the starting 5. Like,
Yeah.
that's going to be a big adjustment. Beal's offense, to talk about something better than his defense, the efficiency from 3 is fantastic to have. Rousseau wrote a bunch about how the Clippers very much need to run dribble handoffs to Beal, because when he gets downhill and then kind of has the defense come at him, he tends to make good decisions in those scenarios. So
he had the most points per possession off of handoffs in the league last year. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then he has it's not as, like Durant and Booker they obviously play an incredibly different kind of basketball than Harden and Kawhi. And I think this fit for Beal, you talked about making it simple on defense and simple in NBA terms. We should hope for the same thing on offense to start. I think we'll see we're going to see the new wrinkle stuff with the scenario that Adam brought up with good health, probably in game 25. The first 24 will be kind of like, where's the bread and butter working the best?
Right.
And there's going to be a back-to-back where Kawhi's not playing a few games to start off anyways. So
did Beal play back-to-backs last year?
That is a good question in itself. Really good question.
He probably won't this year. I do feel like they're going to stagger those guys, which is why I know some people in here are talking about like Chris Paul too, not to take over the podcast, but I do kind of feel like the Clippers might get one more body to throw in that is like a rotation level guy just to have some insurance. It's going to be clunky trying to play 11 guys, but I do think that they are going to try to have at least one more guy who can absorb actual NBA minutes.
He played an 8
playmaker
last year.
Oh, okay.
So he played on 8 games on 0 days rest is the stat that I saw. So
got it. Okay.
John Collins is the other one that missed a lot of games last year, but this was different.
He'll be well rested. Yeah. He missed so many games that they got fined.
Correct.
This point from Jonathan Johnson, the starting 5 now, the shooting is all on the whole a lot better.
Yep.
Simply by removing Chris Dunn and replacing that with Bradley Beal and John Collins with Derrick Jones Jr. The Clippers have a chance to be, what were they in 3-point percentage last year?
It might have been their worst season under Ty Lue, or maybe
7th. They were at 37% as a team.
So it definitely went up near the end of it because they had a bunch of guys on heaters. Bogey was shooting like 50% for a couple of weeks after the slow start. I do kind of wonder, we never got the real sample size of Norman Powell next to James Harden and Kawhi to be Paul George that we saw in his final season next to those two, which worked really well. I guess he didn't like the role, Paul George, playing off ball more, but the efficiency was there.
He did before he had to do it.
What role does he like?
I know. Tough guy to please. Now, especially if he has to go to Charlotte.
That was so funny. I love that clip too, because I don't listen to his podcast, but I was like, was he just talking shit about Charlotte and he didn't get asked about it, or was he just like, I wouldn't play in Charlotte?
I guess they're talking about LaMelo and stuff and giving their assessment on the team. But
our rip LaMelo to the Clippers. Sorry for everyone who wanted that to happen.
For now.
Yeah.
For now, let me timestamp that. Very good call. As of July 16th, 8:22, I don't think it's happening. But
ideally, what you would like to see is Bradley Beal, not to the level of usage that Paul George was the 23-24 season, being kind of the third scoring option at times and playing off ball like that, but some of that. Because Ivica Zubac is much better now, and that's another concern of mine. I do not want Ivica Zubac's development to be stunted at all, or for him to get less shots this season, and that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, and with the Lopez addition, because if Lopez can soak up more minutes, that means that Zoo will probably not play as much in the regular season, at least to start, because he does have the conditioning thing.
And
the plus side of this is that he'll be better conditioned going into the playoffs.
I'm fine
Less
with
banged
him
up.
playing a couple less minutes. I just want his shot attempts per 100 possessions to be the same. That's what I want.
For sure.
Or better, or higher.
Do we think this question from Alfredo Rodriguez is fair? Don't be afraid to get ejected from a game. Do we want more of that mentality from the Clippers this season? I personally do not.
I'd love some eye gouges, maybe a punch or two.
Some real old
a ripped jersey.
stuff.
Yeah.
The eye gouge, then you get this.
You're like, oh, yeah. What are you going to do? It's unbeatable. Yeah.
Sorry, now I'm thinking about LaMelo Ball to the Clippers again.
So their offense, we talk about the Clippers' offense and what they ended up 15th in the regular season by the end.
Yeah.
It's 15th or 16th. So they were, if you look at the very end of the season, I just took the split of 14th. The month of March. Yeah, because Kawhi, that's how much better they were with Kawhi. Once Kawhi got back, they turned into a top 10 offense. This is part of the reason I'm not as worried about the offense as some people were. Like, oh, we got to make sure the offense is better. It's like we never really got a longer sample size of how good they were looking already with just having Kawhi back next to James, next to Norm. I think they're a top 10 offense if you just have Kawhi and James out there with three other guys. Like, I'm not that worried about their offense, and I do have some concerns about the starting lineup defense, as I mentioned, with this group.
I want to respectfully disagree here. I want to win a playoff. Sorry, go ahead.
Quick audio break for the podcast, and then you can go back to it. Listen more about Joseph's take in 3, 2, 1. Hey, we're back.
Charles saw a beautiful opportunity for a tease. Was like, this is it.
I love the 22-minute ad break. Hold on. We're on 22:12. Everybody got to stop.
We're probably doing an hour. We might as well split it into thirds. Segments, dude. People like routine. Dude.
I know. The 22-minute segment, an industry staple. The 22-minute
people love it.
And don't forget, adjust your volume because sometimes the commercials are very loud.
They do get a little loud.
People got upset about that.
It's fair.
I just, for me, it's more of like the offense clearly lacked dynamism once it got into the playoffs, and we just didn't have enough guys who could do anything. And we can have an elite defense all you want, but when it came down to it, we lost that Denver series because we couldn't score against the Denver defense that wasn't that good.
And Russell Westbrook and Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown having
1,000%. There's ways to like get around it, and at the same time,
and Norm
like
being really bad, unfortunately.
Yeah. But like
that's the offense there. If Norm is better in that series, like he normally is,
or Kawhi.
But Norm can't create, and so we needed a guy like Beal who can create, who can actually make it to where James Harden doesn't have to play 46 out of 48 minutes in a game 6 because we have nobody else who can dribble the fucking basketball. And so I just think that like having a guy like Beal is great. And then even having a guy like Collins who gives just more options. I mean, obviously the offensive rebounds that Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon got all throughout that series are going to play through all of our heads.
And so know what you're talking about.
You gave yourself a selective lobotomy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think the Clippers did need to do something to juice the offensive side of the ball and give them an opportunity to play more 5 out that wasn't, a bunch of guys who were 6'3".
I'm not against that at all. I don't want to sacrifice the defense too much. The idea of they're going to be so good on offense with John Collins and with Bradley Beal out there, it will compensate. I hope they fully buy in because they are more capable than they have shown at times. And this Clippers
Right.
team has a standard now on that end. I just want
Yeah.
to see that standard upheld.
I think
Yeah.
I think the standard will be upheld, and I think it's also, I mean, it's Beal's best shot to win a ring, and
Right.
It's a contract year for him, really.
and for Collins, right? Like, they could.
That's the beauty of all the guys being off the books in the next year or two. Like, they're all under pressure to perform.
Lopez has a bunch to prove. No, I'm just kidding. But for Collins and Beal, it's like if they contribute to a team that either overperforms, we're a top 4 seed or something like that, or it's, they're meaning it can mean more money,
A payday.
a payday. It's going to be, they got to buy it. I mean, they have to buy it, but I do think with this coaching staff, I think Kawhi being there from the start really helps the buy-in, right? Because how many times have we talked about how hard it would be to be like, okay, yet again, we are down 1A.
Yeah.
And maybe both 1B at the same time. Now we get the full, like, everyone's here, full staffed. Like, I'm believing in the buy-in. I'm going back to the positive Chuck Mockler days somehow.
Love it.
From Locked On, but I'm believing in the buy-in.
Do we think this is enough? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
No. I like where you were going there.
Do we think this is enough to make Kawhi want to play 40 minutes a night in the playoffs?
Yes.
I don't
do we
like
think that we did enough?
I disagree with what I just said.
Do we think that this is enough to get Kawhi to buy into the fact that the Clippers are trying to build around him? I
think it's the best situation he's been in a long time.
Yeah, I have heard that Kawhi is not maybe the happiest that the Clippers are talking about all of the cap space they're going to have in 2027.
Well,
which means that they're not focused on making the team win now.
We got another guy in a contract year.
Yeah, so it really does kind of I'm very curious because I mean I've gone over that. I'm we've talked about it. I guess in private, but the idea that Kawhi played less in the playoffs than he did to end the regular season is pretty fucking maddening. And so I wonder
to some degree. I was frustrated in game one. I'm like, why are they chasing game one? They played more minutes in the overtime game against Golden State. It's an overtime game again. Why are they playing less?
Yeah.
Right. We talked about that, I think, on your pod too. But
Clippers talk.
I wonder if this is enough to really get a fully engaged and bought in and locked in Kawhi.
He's the kind of guy to win a championship to spite you, though, which I'm fine with.
Please.
Spite me,
Spite God. I need you to.
I also think there were some interesting circumstances with them being in Denver and guys did look abnormally gassed because, okay, you can say, well, the Clippers are old. The Clippers are old.
Yeah.
Did they advertise that anywhere in Denver?
Couldn't tell you how many feet for the life of me. 100.
When I saw the OKC Thunder look gassed in Denver in the second round, I was like, oh, well, no shit. The Clippers were gassed. If the youngest, most spry athletic team could look that tired in the Mile High air, I do think that had some effect on the minutes. I'm not saying
it's not the end all be all.
Yeah, I still felt like there should have been a higher level of urgency at times. But I don't know if that's Kawhi's decision anyways.
That's fair. We got the sports guru with the super chat. Thank you, by the way. They are saying Batum at the 4 with Kawhi and Zoo can augment Beal and Harden in the starting lineup, can plug and play around that. Tyler gets to prove his chops as a top 5 coach. No excuses. Like the no excuses part. Don't think they made a bunch of them, but I do like that everyone's healthy because that's what that means. No excuses means that everyone's healthy going into the regular season in my head.
I don't think there's a good excuse for that loss to Denver. I'm disappointed still.
Yeah.
There's not.
Again, I'm not familiar with what you guys are referencing. I'll have to look that up later.
You got hit with the
Do your own
metabolic
research.
neuralizer.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do my own research to see how the season actually ended last year because I'm not liking what I'm hearing.
I'd stop after the first quarter of Game 7.
The offense is a lot more dynamic now. There's just a lot of other things that can happen. And because we have Van Gundy so locked in on the defense, they have had a year working together now with Van Gundy and Ty Lue. Now we get to see how the working relationship works in this scenario. And I think Ty will have just more time to focus on offense. Not to say that he's not a good defensive coach or anything, but that year of working relationship with Van Gundy, I think we're going to see the benefits of how well it seemed to go last season.
Brook Lopez offers a ton. When we talk about the Clippers' defensive rating and staying at a top 5 level, having a backup big that slides right in, who's 2 years removed from being second in DPOY, that gives you a ton of stability. Because what's the number? There are 15 points worse per 100 possessions when Ivica Zubac was off the floor this season.
Yeah.
It was
like
one
it's
of the
something drastic.
bigger, if not biggest, swings in net rating.
It's like close, not Jokic-esque. I think he was like 20 points, 22 points or so when he's off the floor. They're not even like a play-in team, Denver, without him.
Wish
but
that would have manifested itself.
Fortunately, he plays like 45 minutes a night, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But
we lost DeAndre Jordan minutes. God, sorry.
Their second unit defense should be really good, especially there's another side to this. I'm arguing with myself now, but if Chris Dunn
going to mirror the camera.
yeah, it's a Mortal Kombat mirror match. Your soul is mine. There is an upside to having maybe Chris Dunn and DJ are playing together more with the second unit. So therefore, if you have Bogey out there, if you have lesser defenders, and then those two guys are also playing with Brook Lopez, and those three are on the floor next to anybody, you're probably going to be pretty strong defensively with that second unit. Not that it's always a 5-man line shift or anything, but there will be that at times.
But, and I mean, yeah, like the peppering in of guys. Like, we're going to see a lot of fun There's going to be so many lineups that have very small sample size that people are going to be like, we were plus 18 in these minutes. And you're like, okay, it was against the worst team in the league and they were playing a zone or something like that. But that's a fun, good thing to have offensively.
Do you guys want to know the on-off splits for Beal on Phoenix this year?
I don't.
They didn't sound good.
Tough shit, Joseph.
Adam's never cursed more on a single episode. Also,
I bring out the worst in Adam. I really do.
We are going to get fined. I don't know if we're going to be able to do an episode next week.
I think it's the best.
Production costs are high, so
we can't afford the bleeps.
We can't afford the bleeps, dude.
I do apologize. Bradley Beal on the court. Phoenix had an offensive rating of 110.6. Off the court, 115.7, significantly higher without him. Defensive rating on the court, 118.6 with Bradley Beal. Off the court, 115.3, so 3 points better per 100 possessions with him off. All in all, we're talking about 8.5 net rating swing with him on and off. Look, Phoenix was a mess, and I still think a guy that's that efficient and you pair him with some solid defenders, you can bring the best out of him. I'm not overly concerned about these numbers and what happened the last 2 years because there's so many variables.
Plumlee, like that is a nightmare defensively for your starting center.
Well, Justin showed that like when their big three with Beal and Booker and KD played with Mason Plumlee and actually had just an actual center out there, they were competent. They had a nice, decent net rating.
At that, even a very bad center,
a flashy and bad center. Yes,
one of my favorite archetypes, to be honest. But
now they
Mason Plumlee being Magic Johnson on the Clippers was one of the strangest developments in the NBA.
There's a lot of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
It was me. No. I made the noise.
Sorry. Go ahead, Joseph.
Sorry. I'm more excited for Beal to lead bench lineups. Like to actually have someone who can really dribble the ball and like lead the offense for a bench that looked pretty rudderless offensively at times, especially when James wasn't on the floor kind of carrying them. I really just kind of keep circling back to that. Like the Clippers, when James Harden was not on the floor, did not know what to do with the basketball. Unless they were out in transition, like once they got in the half court, there was just nothing. There was a whole lot of nothing going. And to have someone like Beal to kind of put Bogey back in a complementary role off the bench, like not necessarily being, pigeonholed as the
We don't
backup
have to
point guard.
talk about how much Bogey can actually really do with the ball in his hands. He can
Yeah.
do the thing that he's really good
Yeah.
at.
Attack the
He's not
second
bad
side.
with the ball in his hands, but
No.
it's better if he doesn't have to do it.
Secondary action. That's all he needs to do. Anyway, yeah. We kind of got derailed there. I don't know what just happened.
Is there still going to be, though, as you alluded to earlier, Joseph, another playmaker that the Clippers could be picking up here? Is there still even more help coming for James Harden in that department?
Is CP3 on the way?
I'm only concerned about the CP3 edition because it means Ty is going to somehow play 5 guard, and I don't like that idea.
Why?
What do you mean?
Because I've seen it not work before. I don't want any more Luke Kennard at the 5. I don't want any more of that, please.
Speaking of like the 5-man lineup, we know that it was bad because Ben Simmons is no longer on the team anymore. If the 5-out lineup was actually viable, Ben Simmons would still be on this team. So we do get actually like 2 lineups of the type of basketball that the Clippers want to play, which is with a center on the court. They don't want to have to do small ball a lot. They're going to do it sometimes, but like we actually have, we have a viable backup center who can set good screens for when Beal needs to he's not very good in the pick and roll. But it is a better situation. I also like the sports guru calling out Adam directly here, asking him not to judge Beal based on last season.
I literally said there's a lot of variables. I'm not putting it all on him. I'm just saying it's worth at least bringing those numbers up. I mean, Justin brought up some great numbers. I'm just trying to follow in the GOAT's footsteps here, all right?
Yeah, Justin brought up a lot of bad numbers, which I actually thought was good and is the reason why people should read the article. Because he says at the end of it, is Beal a perfect fit? No. They also don't need him to be. They just need him to do what he's done for 13 years, score at an efficient rate, and give them enough of the things they don't presently have. It's $5.5 million. From a value, the value head's got to be losing their mind. But I like it's not a perfect fit. There's going to be growing pains. I've liked the reaction that I think Clippers fans are just conditioned to be like, sick, like we can make some noise. Like let's hope we're all healthy and things go well. Like I like
maybe we can get past the second round. I don't know. Let's get out of the first. Yeah.
I do think this team is pretty well positioned now to have the expectations of being a top 4 team in the Western Conference.
Dude,
I think that's fair.
It would be so sick.
You're 5th last year. You improved this much. We're hoping for 50-plus games from Kawhi this year. They only had 37 last year, and they had 150 games. Like it's all on the table.
Hot take. I'm hoping for 38 games from Kawhi. Just give me one more, and I'm anything past whatever he was at last year. Oh boy, we are cooking with gas.
We would have been the 3 seed if we had gotten just one more game from Kawhi Leonard.
Well, also ideally, if we get those things, they don't have to do what they did at the end of last year of the regular season. They don't have to they don't have to be in the playoffs the last 2 weeks of the regular season.
Yeah. If you look at it that way, they maybe won 2.5 rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Has a team ever made it to the 5th round? Like, that's impossible. You can't ask us.
That's fair. The playoffs for them started in early March. So how many rounds did they actually win before losing to Denver?
It's the most.
Many people are saying the Clippers actually won 3 rounds in the playoffs last year.
They won the most rounds without winning a championship.
Yeah.
I think
I think Elias tweeted that the other day.
Yeah. It's not even possible. The team went to anyway. That's so funny. I'm feeling good. I'm basking in the front office's deals. The CP3 thing would stress me out.
Do you guys want him?
You know what I
Chuck?
would like to do real quick? Take a quick audio break. We'll come right back to
You
that.
saw another tease.
The old 17-minute segment.
Hey, what are you going to do, man? I don't make the rules, despite making the outline and dictating where the ads go. Coming up, we're talking, do we want CP3 right after this? And we're back. Joseph, do you want Chris Paul on this team now?
No, of course not.
All right.
What about now?
But I mean, basketball-wise, sure, whatever. But like having 11 guys is tough. I don't like having 11 guys who want to play.
We'd have 12. Yeah, like
How often are they all going to be healthy?
No, I mean that's what they'll say, but there are going to be times where one of our guys isn't going to be playing because everyone is healthy.
and they got to figure things out, right? In terms of the
Right.
continuity. Would he come off the bench?
I don't think he wants to.
Dude, if they start CP3, Harden, and Beal with Kawhi at the 4 and Zoo at the 5, I would. We'll definitely be doing a live when they talk about that because I will not be in as good. I will have flipped from where I'm at right now. If we want to talk about losing the defensive identity of this team,
Mm-hmm. That is the risk you run. That is the risk you run.
At that point, they told it. Please pack your shit and get out of here.
Yeah.
Adam, do you want CP3? How would you feel if he was on the team?
I think it's all about if they get last year's version of CP3. I don't mean he has to play 82 games. That was crazy. But that level of ability and him saying, I'm good with coming off the bench and backing up James Harden, I'm good. That's all I need to hear.
Count me in for that.
He's one of the most competitive people ever. So I don't know if that's realistic or not, or if he's going to want to start at some point because it got kind of different in Golden State. You know, it was just like him being asked about it. It almost was like a distraction at times. We definitely don't want that.
Feels like this is comments coming out of nowhere. Just sorry, hard pivot. I'm drinking LaCroix.
No. I think if CP came.
That's exactly what would happen. I would drink for sure. You actually got it. Ryro loves sports. You love great predictions too.
I do like the sentimental aspect of it though, and him coming back to LA. I just want to know. I just want defined roles everywhere.
Yeah. So the defined roles thing, that's where I'm at. It's just guys we would have so many new guys who need the ball.
Yeah.
Does it piss John Collins off too? He's like, oh, so I guess I'm not starting. Because I would assume we all are kind of penciling him as starting right now.
So I mentioned earlier.
No, John Collins. But if CP3 comes, John Collins, does Beal come off the bench? I don't know.
Remember the part about how everyone's
buying the bottle of whiskey right now. Sorry.
How everyone's extra motivated because they're all in contract years. That can go the other way, where everybody is expecting more touches and needs to get the basketball, and guys are on different agendas because they're looking to put up numbers to get paid this next offseason. That's worrisome.
Except for CP3. He's quite literally mentioned he's retiring at the end of this.
That's fair.
Unless
he wants to go out with a bang.
Unless he wins a chip. No, I would be, I don't know. The locker room has been good. I don't think it would make the locker room like a toxic environment. It would make it, I think, strained, Adam, to your point, with what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Position.
What's the worst the locker room has been in the 2-1-3 era, or the last 6 years, I should say?
When Trez was talking to Tomer that one time, right? Does that count? Remember when after the game, when Trez aired he was pissed about how we were playing?
Remember when Trez went at Paul George in the middle of the bubble and was like, what did he say to him?
He went,
oh yeah,
you're always right, Paul.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, does the bubble count? Because it seems like Lou Williams got
Lou Williams would rather get COVID than hang out with the team at a certain point. Yeah.
Does COVID count?
So that was the very beginning of the 2-3 era. But like, what about since then? It's what,
Okay,
PJ and Bones being sent home. But
PJ
that
and
did,
Bones. I
Or
think the
Bones
worst.
like hiding in his locker. Yeah.
I think the worst it was when they didn't get Westbrook in the free agency window or before the trade deadline, whatever that was. When there was clear friction with
Oh yeah, when
what
Paul
Lawrence
George
Frank
was like,
said
I can't
and what
dribble
Tyloo said.
anymore. Yeah,
but
and
that's not player to player. That's trying to put pressure on the front office. I mean, like
Yeah, that's true.
players quarreling.
well, the end of the Russell Westbrook era was also pretty
that was
fucking
rough,
tense.
locker room
eight
wise.
eight for 42, or
Yeah,
what do you
Supposedly.
mean?
when they asked him to come off the bench and he was pissed the rest of the season, and then he stunk up the joint.
Yeah.
Well, I saw he offered. I don't know.
Yeah, Adam, when do you think it was?
I mean, probably technically it's PJ being sent home with Bones, but I don't think that caused any real schism with the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
I think they've been good about, like, guys may have been upset with coaches or may have been upset with the front office, but it's been pretty rare that guys have been upset with one another over roles.
Yeah, that's well, yeah.
Yeah.
Marcus Morris, when he got told they were maybe gonna bench him.
There's one.
He
That was
he
pretty
he
bad.
just stayed home.
Yeah.
There was no friction in the locker room. He was like, "All
Yeah.
right, later, guys."
I'm being mature and removing myself
So from the
is
situation,
what
yeah.
Morris did. Yeah, and I get it would just be like trying to figure that continuity out. It seems like it would put with guys who were vets. I don't know. It's a lot of. It's just more. It's also more large not personalities, guys who are really established in the league that Tyloo has to deal with yet again. Not that he's bad at it. He's just had to do it a lot, which is difficult for a coach to do that much.
Maybe because I don't know if there's, like, Kawhi leads his own way, the Tim Duncan way. James Harden's leadership was pretty strong for the most part last season, but
Stones too.
there isn't a player leader that is noticeably identifiable as the leader. And Ty probably has to do a little bit more.
It's Pulakaitis. They just drafted him.
Is he making the?
We got 2 more spots.
Is he gonna call in from the G League team in San Diego to give the guys the message?
Ty does have to be stronger as a coach of this Clippers team. I do think that something that he has struggled with since leaving LeBron is his propensity to defer to his stars and his players. I think it's, on one hand, it's something that builds his players up, and like we'll get people like Nick Batum to have a resurgence and build guys back up confidence wise. And I think we see it on the court in that I think he defers to what guys want instead of like crafting something that they can buy into that's like his vision. And I think the differences between the defense and offense this year, I think, are pretty stark, and like the differences between how Jeff Van Gundy coaches and how Tyloo coaches.
Yeah.
And so I do think it would be. I don't think that Ty is on the hot seat. I think someone in there was like, "Is Ty on the hot seat?" Primarily because Steve Ballmer and Lawrence Frank want to make the Clippers a quote unquote stable organization. And so they want to project stability and unity and all sort of stuff, even though we all know that there has been a lot of friction and passive aggressiveness between the two sides. But I think Ty's growth as a coach is like, yes, he's a championship coach. Yes, he did prove that he has this ability to make adjustments in the playoffs. But without LeBron, I do feel like there's been a little bit of an expectations for his stars to be LeBron.
And what does that mean for LeBron and Luka and the Lakers?
I don't know what it means for them, but I just know that it means that I think Ty needs to learn that not every star is LeBron. And there is a pretty big gap there. And you can't just hand the keys to them and expect them to take you wherever you need to go.
I feel like he's probably aware of that, but
he doesn't coach like it.
My point was there haven't been that many guys in infighting, And that's
Mhm.
kind of surprising considering there
Yeah.
isn't one alpha maybe that stands out that much.
Hmm.
And if it's anyone, it's Ty.
Hmm.
And he's got to do more in the locker room than in previous stops probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's worked for the most part. So when it comes to Beal and the stuff coming out of Phoenix and him being unhappy with his role and coming off the bench for 15 games last season, I'm not super concerned about it. I'm not.
Yeah, it was so, I mean, Suns fans will tell you that it's not like it was an environment that everyone seemed really excited to play in.
Hmm.
Like, it's not like things were going great and Beal
Three
wasn't
different
good.
head coaches the last 3 years. That's crazy. I know just
Yeah.
2 with Beal, but still, that's pretty nuts.
Mason Plumlee
Yeah.
is your starting center.
It's crazy.
Not good. All right, Joseph, did you bring a dip? I know it's a live. We don't do dips on the live, but do you have a dip?
Does green salsa count?
Yeah, if you got something to dip in it.
Oh, like, do I have an actual dip
Yeah,
with me? No, I
not in
forgot it
the
existed.
ether.
I forgot.
That's fine. We don't do them on
I
live.
spent $200,000 on a theater education for me to be able to do this right here.
All right, we're winding this happy hour down. We're doing another classic 18-minute segment. Joseph, your final thoughts on Bradley Beal being a Clipper?
I'm excited, dude. I'm really excited. I wrote an article for Clipperholics before the Paul George trade saying that
I was like, recently, you scab.
I went back, man. I couldn't help myself.
Clipperholics.
Needed that exposure.
Just saying that the Clippers needed to trade for Bradley Beal. If like Kawhi was looking for a co-star, that he was the guy I wanted them to go and get. And obviously, it's been a bumpy road since that article came out. But I would say I'm just excited to see what he can do, and I do think he's an upgrade to Norm Powell. And even though he was not as good as Norm Powell at the beginning of the year, or as good as Norm Powell was at the beginning of the year, but he just brings something to the team that I think they really missed, and it really does give me the feeling that like we're back in this position of if things break right, I don't know, we might find ourselves in a position that we haven't been in, very often. So
home court advantage of the playoffs.
Can I just point out that every team to some degree has to have things break right? I know that how you meant it, and of course, it's just the degree of what you need. Like how much help, how much good fortune do you need? The Clippers need more than some teams, but nothing is guaranteed. Teams are like, oh, fans can be like, oh, if and buts again. Oh, okay, great. It's like that goes for everybody. It's not just the Clippers. There's 7 different champions the last 7 years.
I think it's a good take. I just thought of that bit before.
That's so funny. That's so good.
I think it
every time I talked, you should have done that.
I was waiting for someone to say something. So it's not true. I just thought it was a funny bit. Adam, you're absolutely right.
The next time I'm on, anytime I speak, can you just pop that on the screen?
Absolutely. I was really cracking myself up with it. I'm sorry, Adam.
That was earnest. I feel like a fool now.
Well, you're right, though.
I've been shamed into oblivion.
I didn't want to click it, and I was like, I can't do it to the guest. It's Joseph's fault, is what I'm saying. Adam, your final thoughts on Beal and the Clippers. I will not press the bad take button.
Well, now I'm skittish.
My hands are up here.
Now I'm gun
All
shy.
of a sudden, sirens start blaring. It's just the whole screen says bad take alert.
Well, I'm so sorry. No one in the chat has said anything, so I don't think it was a good bit at all. If you want to see bad bits and you're listening to this, check us out at youtube.com/@ClippersPodcast.
I just want to give props to Lawrence Frank in the front office for, I think, optimizing the roster to the best of our abilities, considering what they have to work with not having first round picks and everything. Like this is the best possible outcome, I think, from this summer, realistically.
I could not agree more with that. It is the best. I didn't think we'd be like feeling. I mean, the Brook Lopez signing was great, and then it was like, oh shit, we got like, it's a nice. It's the best offseason in a minute.
And last
Feeling-wise.
offseason was pretty good.
Yeah, very
There
true.
was just so much uncertainty with Kawhi, but the pickups were great.
Yeah. They made a lot happen. I'm feeling excited. I've already said I'm somehow reverting back to being more positive about the team. TBD on if we trade for Chris Paul. A lot of the good vibes, I think, hinge on that.
Well, if they have to trade for him, I'm really not for bringing him in.
Oh, yeah. You know what I mean.
Too bad take alert that, huh?
Yeah, I got you. I'm doing it. That was a bad take. Wait, hold on. I got another one. All right. Hold on. How about this one for you?
Hold on, the next ones. I said that earnestly.
I said that earnestly. We have a good time here on Clips and Dip. If you would like
we
to
haven't done enough name tags recently, by the way.
I know we fell off on that. We got too corporate, dude.
Yeah.
It's all these 17-minute segments.
Dude, you gotta keep these damn lights on, bro. What do you think it is over here? DraftKings doesn't pay us that much. They don't pay us anything. Can we hop on the StreamYard link? No. No one else can come on this show.
Why does this guy just come on here lying? Adam said we could.
We don't do a lot of draconian stuff here, but no one else can come on the show.
That's it. Not even Will. Will is now banned.
Well, Will is alive, so maybe he'll make another dip again. All right, we are heading out. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Adam has already said so many positive things about the Clippers. Joseph, do you want these people to find you? Do you just want to pop up randomly?
You can find me in your local West Hills backyard basketball court playing 40-year-old men. Sometimes making 35% of my threes. Sometimes not. But other than that, don't find me.
Sometimes less than that.
So hey man, when you actually average it out, when you're playing pickup and you're hot, you're shooting like 34%. It's like over a whole night. Yeah.
Well, I'm not playing a whole night anyway.
No, I play a whole night anyway.
All right, Joseph Fry Award plays all night for basketball.
Catch him in the streets.
Catch him in the streets playing basketball.
Those hands
crossing up 40-year-old men.
If it's 4:59, he's working. If it's 5 p.m., he's changing. If it's 5:01, he's hooping. So
I'm hooping.
Look out for Joseph Fry Award.
And I'm hooping until my bedtime at 9 p.m.
until I gotta be inside. Until that dinner bell rings. Thank you to everyone for hanging out in the live stream. Adam, I'm sorry again for the bad take thing. I just had to use it. It was a good take.
It was so good, Chad.
I'm gonna wake up at like middle of the night when the cold sweat and be like, maybe it was a bad take.
Dude, I feel
Chuck was right.
We will be back with Justin Rousseau next week, unless the Clippers sign Chris Paul. The last time we did an episode, now we had to do another live stream. So we'll probably be back in like 24 hours. I don't know. The Clippers play a summer league game. Let's hope they win by 58. And then they can make the finals. I don't know how this works. There's a sack race to determine the seeding. All right, we will get out of here. Give us a review on iTunes if you're listening to this. Hope you enjoy those ad breaks.